Aloha.
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 I feel like I need to bring an umbrella and flowers in it or something.
We need a little coconut with the umbrella.
Yeah.
Gilligan's Island stuff. There you go.
Better with a coconut in hand than coconut
on your
bras,
head.
you know.
Oh, God, yeah. Height of fashion and comfort. Hey, we've got Angie Kopke jumping in with us right away. Hi, Angie. There she is.
Yay.
Hi. Welcome. We're going to babble here for a minute or two and let people click in.
Yes.
And if you're...
Go ahead. I was going to say, well, let us know you're here. Be sure to make a comment or say hello so that we know that you're here with us. I can tell we've got a good number of people popping on. We're on Facebook and YouTube Live. And we're also, the audio goes to iTunes and Spotify after I get that up. If anybody wants to get some behind the scenes or more information or follow whatever, you can go to iriscarter.com and hit the link to the Eyes of Indigo podcast. And yeah, be sure to like, follow, subscribe, whatever it is that each of those requires. We want followers, and we appreciate everybody being here. We love seeing the people that return, because that means you like us. You really, really like us. But we also welcome our new viewers and love to get to know you as well. And so, yeah.
Write us a note in the comments. Say hi. Yep.
Yes.
We've got two angels. We got two angels now. We got Angie and Angela.
Yeah.
They're slowly coming in. But if you're new here, welcome to the channel.
I'm
very
Iris.
happy to have you. And I'm Margot.
And in between us.
And he's Dale in the middle.
Yes.
We've got Annabelle and Randy Hobbs as well. And tonight our guest is Dale Stacy with EarthStar Spiritual Center. You can see more online on his Facebook account, with his wife, Jeannie Stacy. Normally, you'll see their name as Dale Jeannie Stacy online. And tonight we have Dale. And to give you a little bit of an intro, hi there, Joshua. Glad to see you. Give you a little bit of intro for some background on Dale. Dale and Jeannie Stacy are ministers and abbots of EarthStar Spiritual Center that officially started in 2002, but their background is before that, all the way to 99. Dale will elaborate on that as he goes. A little bit, though, of Dale's background, even though he is currently a master of martial arts, Reiki, Huna, all types of shamanism, and a lot more. He was in the past an officer both in the Air Force and later on in the Greensboro Police. So, yeah. So, you know, he's been a gumshoe. He's checked the clock like the rest of us once in a while, in the past as well. So,
from gumshoe to sandals.
You went from gumshoe to sandals. Good one, Ira.
Gumshoe to flip flops. We got to find a good.
Yeah, flip flop. That's
flip-flops. Uniforms to pajamas. I think I remember hearing you say at one presentation.
That's right.
Years ago at one of the Body Mind Spirit expos, which is where was some of the places that in the past I've met Dale. We've had many conversations years and years ago about how he set up EarthStar, how I set up Lua. He was actually him and Jeannie were actually foundational for getting Lua off the ground with expedient information that was crucial. And we're forever grateful for that. Both EarthStar and Lua continue to thrive and have great success. And we've shared a lot of mutual friends, and we've shared a lot of mutual students. A lot of our students have gone back and forth learning different things from both of us as energetic teachers as well as spiritual teachers. So inadvertently, my path with Dale and Jeannie has crossed many times. So we've always enjoyed it. It's always been awesome.
Yes.
And so I brought that awareness to Iris. And Iris dug up all the research queen. She dug up some really cool information and was like, yes, let's get this on board. Absolutely. So to bring us back into focus a little bit more for tonight's topic, Dale, I'm going to let you introduce yourself, your topic, and get the conversation started. Thank you for being here.
Well, aloha, first of all, and thank you for having me tonight. So, yes,
mahalo.
Margo and I, this is going on almost 2 decades here. We've known each other. So we've been doing this a while, I guess 40 years, and if we count up that between us. Yes, I thought it'd be a great time, as always, to talk about aloha consciousness, and also talk about maybe our earth superpowers, because a lot of times folks don't realize how much superpowers they have within themselves, because everybody has several superpowers. And what happens is we just don't know that. It's almost like we're like in Wizard of Oz with the Scarecrow, right? He didn't know he was smart until he got this piece of paper, this diploma, and said he was smart. And then all of a sudden he had all these figures in his head. So these skills that all of us have, they've been with us since, we were born. So, we didn't have to necessarily learn these things. They've been with us when we incarnated. So it's nice to know what these are. And then that way we can focus on trying to do those skills, perhaps even 100% of our day. Wouldn't that be wonderful? So if you could just start off being aware of that and doing them 50% of your day. And then soon you'll realize that, yes, this is what I do, and I do it so naturally. So it'd be nice if we can all do our superpowers 100% of the day, because that's why we're here. And of course, all that is aloha consciousness.
That's cool. Now, I think Iris came up with a good question about aloha in general.
Yes.
A lot of people from the mainland don't actually know what aloha means besides hello and goodbye.
Yeah.
Could you elaborate on that, please?
Yeah, it just means love. So that's why you can say it when you meet someone, and you say it as someone's going away. You're just expressing and sharing love. So you're really sending out a blessing. That's what you're doing, aloha. And of course, the way we use it at EarthStar is the book I finished writing last year. That's the title of it, Aloha, with a period between it. And that stands for the 5 aspects of aloha, being the all-loving creator is the A. Then L is love. O is our oneness, because we're all one in a greater sense, right? We're all children of God. So H is walking the heart path. And that's just making sure that we see, hear, and feel the love in every moment, because that way we know that we're in aloha. And then A is as above, so below. Because everything that's in the cosmic world is right here in our 3D matrix world. And matter of fact, it's right here inside our body. So, so if we want to understand anything in a greater sense, just go to our own body. This is the user manual right here.
There you go. That's a good way to put it.
And with our 3D matrix, a lot of folks don't realize how to be in connection with this set of tissues and joints and nerves that's been with you your entire lifetime. So
they don't know how to use that tool. Right.
Really, but that's the 3D matrix to keep us away from that literally self-empowerment.
Right. That is fantastic. Thank you. You mentioned a book. Is it available for purchase?
Yes, it's on Amazon. Yes, it sure is.
Good.
Just at last year, it's a more of a philosophical shaman book, just based on aloha consciousness and ascension shamanism. Yeah.
And what is the name of it?
Oh, wait, let me go get a picture, and that way you can see it.
Okay,
yay! A good visual.
Yes.
So Joshua, Lee, and Heather have all joined us. Aloha.
Yay. Back up here. There we go. Yeah.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Yeah. So there it is. So it's Aloha, and it's the ideals of Ascension Shamanism. Yeah. So it's on Amazon. It's just $9.99. Yeah. And now if you have Kindle, it's only $3.33. And if you have Kindle, where you have to pay to belong to Kindle
membership,
it's $0. So
cool.
Yes, I wanted to make sure that it got out to the world. So Aloha, just type in Aloha, and you can just put Dale Stacy on Amazon, and you'll find it. Look for that pretty blue color, and the little stairs is our
spiral stair. Yeah, thank you. Good.
More of a philosophical outlook on shamanism and dealing with the who, what, when, where, how, and whys, right? The 6 aspects of any good investigative or police reporting, right? You got to find out the who, what, when, where, how, and why. If you can understand those 6 aspects and apply that really to every decision, everything in life, my goodness, you'll have this well-rounded totality of circumstances to help you live and make decisions.
Excellent. All right, Iris found you a visual.
Oh, thank you.
That is awesome. That is very, very awesome.
See, it is so easy to find on Amazon. I was able to throw it on the screen just like that.
Oh,
if I can do it, you can do it.
That's right.
And also, that reminds me, I was going to show. Angela says it's in my shopping cart for the next Amazon purchase.
Thank you, Angela.
I'm going to have to do the same. Yes. And
absolutely.
I also wanted to share, let's see, this is your EarthStar Spiritual Center.
Yes.
So
we're a multi-faith center for living Aloha, like I just said, and discovering our wholeness, because we're all whole, right? We're all God's children. So, and of course, the way to do that is through shamanism. That's the way we teach it. And shamanism is, if you want a definition of shamanism, it's the harmony of mind, body, and spirit, right? So the mind thinks of something, imagines something, right? The body then moves and, right? I mean, you can't think about buying a lottery ticket. You have to actually go to the store and buy it, right? And then the spirit, of course, helps us to create that. It inspires us to more creation. So that's what shamanism is. It's the harmony of mind, body, and spirit.
Wow.
Thank you. That's wonderful. Thank you. So part of tonight's topic was talking about superpowers that we naturally have. And you've also mentioned 6 steps, or 6 piece aspects, or I'm not sure how you want to characterize that. Aspects. Thank you. Could you elaborate on those so that our viewers can have a more well-rounded grip on the concepts that you're presenting?
Yeah. So when we think about our Earth superpowers, and notice that when you say Earth superpowers, that's ESP, right? So what is your ESP? And in the back of that, the book that was just on the screen, I have a set of worksheets in the back that will actually help you to find out what your Earth superpowers are. Yeah. So basically, your Earth superpowers are your gifts, your abilities, your skills, and your talents. Well, just a different word for all those things, right? Oh, and even your goals, right? So it's really everything that you're good at doing naturally. You don't have to think about doing it. You just go and you do it. And you're very successful at doing that. It's very easy to do, very simple for you to do. I mean, just think about somebody being able to cook this wonderful meal, like Jeannie. She just cooks this wonderful meal, and I always compliment her on how the meal is, and she goes, well, anybody could do that. I said, no, not anybody. Some people burn boiling water. They can't do that. So it's just the reason why it's easy for you, because you're a master at doing this. That's not a major Earth superpower, cooking, right? I mean, it's a wonderful one because you're feeding people. So it's all the
moving energy. Yeah, exactly. She's still moving energy. Yeah.
And and it's like you. That's why when people have a recipe, you always notice that when you get it from that person who made it, it's wonderful and then you go home and you try to make it, even though you have the exact recipe, it doesn't come out the same. But because it's the energy. Yeah, it's a great point with that. So your Earth superpowers, then it's what you're good at doing. And so if you can imagine, without having to buy the book, just write down just simply 10 things that you're good at doing. Yeah. And the thing is, when we used to do this in class, it was amazing how sometimes that's hard for people to do. Remember,
that's what popped in my head. I was going to say some people are going to struggle with that.
Yes, exactly. Because think about how often we're told of the things we have done wrong, but how often we are not told, or actually it's not often at all, we're not told of the things we do good. So, it's almost like we're pre-programmed to know the negative stuff, but we don't know how to do the affirmative stuff.
Well, and we also forget to value ourselves.
Yes, exactly. And that's that self-empowerment, that self-love. So it's really the aloha you have for yourself. And we aren't taught to do that, right? And there's many reasons for that, but that's our human thing. That's what we're learning to do here as human beings. We're learning about this little love thing, loving ourselves, loving all those other people around us, loving all the catalysts that we receive from other people, and we think, oh my gosh, why does somebody do that? But we don't realize that was a loving action, because now we get to learn from that.
Mirrors, triggers, enemy, friends, all of it.
Yeah, all of it. Yeah. Especially family.
Yeah.
So on the superpowers, then, for an example, for me personally, my overriding gift is being a guide or guiding. So that's my umbrella gift. I'm a guide. So I try to make sure that everything I do throughout the day, 100% of the day, I try to make sure, am I being a guide in some form or fashion, right? And then the three actions I take underneath being a guide is, the first is teaching, and the second is healing, and the third is protecting, because that's, for 20 years I carried a gun for a living, Like we said earlier, I push those out for flip-flops and Tai Chi, pajamas, and that's what I do now. So my overriding perspective then, or gift, is a guide or guiding, and then my 3 Earth superpowers under that are teaching, healing, and protecting. And so I try to make sure that my entire day encompasses those 4 things, right? And of course, you can also break down each one of those gifts even more if you want some more detail. So for instance, under my teaching, the 3 things that I do under teaching is I facilitate, I write, and I life coach. And then for my healing superpower, for that, I'm directing energy, I'm projecting aloha, and I'm blessing. And then my superpower of protecting, for that, I am being vigilant, I am disclosing, and I'm promoting mind, body, spirit awareness. So now I have those 9 things that I interject. So really, if I stick with doing those 9 things throughout the day, then I know that I'm living my Earth superpower. So how wonderful if everyone knew exactly what your superpowers are, that you could express those. And remember, even, if somebody says, well, yes, let's say I'm a teacher, and somebody goes, well, I'm a teacher too, but I'm not a teacher like you're a teacher. Well, we don't want you to be, because there's only one of you. Remember, that other person is taken, right? Yeah, they've got their thing. They've got their stick, right? You've got to have yours. So there's different ways of being a teacher, right? You could be a professional teacher, or maybe you teach business, or maybe you teach like this, audio-visual presentation. Maybe you just teach your children. And and speaking of that, one thing that a lot of mothers used to have some consternation about is not recognizing that mothering is a superpower. That is the number one job on this planet, being a mother, right? So make sure that those of you out there,
anything else.
Yes, if you're a mother, that is the number one superpower on this planet. There's none greater than that, because we wouldn't be here if we didn't have that, right? Yeah. So
absolutely.
make sure you
I'm trying to interject. One of my day jobs is helping people look for work and help them with their resumes. And I helped a woman who, she said, well, I've just been a housewife for 20 years. And I said,
Yes.
no, there is no such thing as just being a housewife. I said, did you volunteer at school for your kids? Oh, yeah, I helped with PTA and I managed their fundraising. And I said, okay, so you know how to keep books, keep records, keep inventory. Yes. You know, I said, you took care of the kids. You had to deal with professionals. You had to keep a schedule. You had to maintain traffic patterns and things like, you know, for logistics, all that stuff. And by the time I finished her resume, it was a full page. And she was like, holy cow, I didn't know I did all that. And I said, go forth. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because our skills, a lot of times we're not validated how valuable we are. And we're taught to associate a monetary amount with that.
Yes.
And if we don't have a salary for this, well, am I really doing what I'm supposed to be doing?
Doing a value. You know, this ties back into something you said in the conversation right before we went on the air. And you mentioned how Moses was going up the mountain to talk to God, and he came back down and they were worshiping gold calves. And he made the humorous comment, did y'all not pay attention to where I was going?
The smoke and the fire on top of the mountain. I mean, really.
Really, we're gonna have to burn some bushes up in here. So, yeah. So what I'm tying this back to is you're talking about, and in that reference too, I'm listening to what you're saying. Our idol worship of the golden calf, and or our idol worship of monetary gold, material things, and monetary values put on things, and so on.
Yes.
So in that, we've learned to value that more than our own selves, more than the exchange of energy with others, even people we love, with our own children, with our own partners, friends, colleagues, clients, students, neighbors, store clerks, whatever.
Yes.
And where I'm going with this is I see another tie-in. It was one of the main reasons that I started Lua, that, again, you and your wife were instrumental in helping start. But one of the main reasons that we started that Lua was for what I said was popular demand. And the popular demand was people were becoming, and this was 2002, 2003, 2004, people were becoming more and more aware that mainstream religion did not consistently support their personal, spiritual, emotional growth. It was too many times, not always, but too many times in Western culture, the narrative was, you're born imperfect, you will die imperfect, you can never be anything more than, their word, a sinner.
Yes.
It's one dialogue. All right. There's many narratives, many dialogues. And that got old with a lot of people that generally, age range wise, back then, we are talking 15, 20 years ago. Yeah. Back then, the age range that started hitting a sour note with people roughly around the age of 30. But I did have 18 and 19-year-olds approaching me with this, and also people 60 and 70 and 80 years old approaching me at the time, saying that narrative does not speak to me anymore, telling me that I'm nothing but a sucker punch on the face of the earth, and that I can't ever be anything else, because they became more and more aware of their sacred self, the God light within, the Aloha within, their heart chakra, or the God, God self, Buddha self, Christ self, whatever you want to call it. Angelic self is another term. And I see that reflected again in what you're talking about, to continue to nurture that and to help people actually nurture. And what I'm hearing you say is helping people to teach them to nurture it for themselves, instead of necessarily going to an outside faction to validate their sacredness.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And, we are not taught that deep analytical thinking for ourselves to be self-empowered and to have self-love, because a lot of times we're taught that we're taught about self-love from a narcissistic standpoint.
Right.
We're taught, don't be so self-loving, you ignore everyone else. And then we just we throw the baby out with the bathwater. Everything goes out.
Right. Right.
But we have to love ourselves. If we don't have gas in our tank, we can't go and help someone else. So we've got to have love within us.
When the oxygen drops down, you got to take care of yourself before you can help other people.
That's right. You can't be sick and, got a fever and running around trying to help people. Take care of yourself first. Then you can go out and help others. It's like the old thing about we hear, when the plane goes down and the oxygen mask come down, we'll put the mask on you first. Then you can start helping everybody else. Because if you're unconscious, you're of no help. And you actually create work for other people.
More problems.
Yes, more problems. So again, the earth superpowers, really then, that is Aloha consciousness. Because, Aloha consciousness is not anything new to be loving. I mean, after all, Christ said the greatest commandment is love one another as I've loved you. My goodness, how much greater a definition of Christianity can you have other than that? So Aloha consciousness then, we just make sure we have our self-love and we love ourselves to find out what we're good at doing and to bring that to the forefront, to the front of our minds, so that we know what we're good at doing, and then we actually do it, right? It's like you were talking about, Margot, about the things that we learned in church. A lot of times we sit around and pray. Well, prayer's good. I mean, it's always good when you're communing with the great one. Yeah. It's just nice when we put some feet to those prayers. We can't pray about having a job and you don't go out and look for a job, right? I mean, you're praying for somebody to just call you up and say, oh, by the way, we have this management position for you, paying you $100,000 a year. Would you please come in? Right? That rarely works, right? So we got to put feet to our prayers. So same thing with the earth superpowers. As with any other knowledge you receive, now what are you going to do with it? Right? Now we have to implement it and integrate it in and amongst our family friends without them thinking that you belonging to a cult. So that's what we got to do.
Right. You got a compliment on the public chat from Lee Olson.
Oh, great.
And Irish, run that up so that the YouTubers can see it.
Thing, but
around 20 years ago or a little more.
Yes, Lee. Yes, in a Reiki class.
She met your Reiki 1, and she says, thank you so much.
Yes.
And she says, I like that. Feet to our prayers. Yes.
Much aloha, Lee. Thank you.
Absolutely. That's awesome. So my thought here is something tying back into something you just said a minute ago is in your classes, in your instruction, you encourage people to start with thinking of at least 10 things that they're good at.
Yes.
So listeners, viewers, there's a comment section, whoops, over there in the window. If you feel so inclined, guys, type out, I don't expect you to belt out 10, although if you can, that's really awesome. But if you could name maybe 2, 3, 4 skills or gifts that you're good at, share it with the world. Let's put some energy and power with that by acknowledging it. Feel free to type in the comments.
That needs to be stuff that it's not just because somebody's told you you're good at it, but it's because you enjoy it and you feel it. It's in your heart.
That's it right there. The enjoyment, the happiness you feel because this is why I'm here. This is what I'm good at doing. Right? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And also another way you can add to that when you get your list is think about the common childhood dreams you had of what you wanted to do or who you wanted to be, because that's going to play in with these gifts about yourself. Yeah.
Very cool. And Angie came up with a good first example: gardening.
Yes,
gardening is
taking care of Mother Earth. My goodness, because me, I can buy tomatoes. I can put them in my little thing outside. I mean, I would starve to death if I have to farm. I do not have the farming gene. So please continue with your gardening. So somebody's got to do that to feed everybody. Yeah. So everybody is good at doing things. So just find out what those are and do these things. Yeah.
Lee says listening, writing, coaching, guiding, singing, and performing.
Excellent.
And those are good lists. And Angela Noel says, I have tons until you said from the heart.
Uh-oh.
All right, Angela Noel. So from the heart, you've got tons of good skills. Which ones do you really enjoy doing, executing, experiencing, however you want to say it? Give us your top three. Give us your your favorite three. Start there. And I think that's going to put us into that path.
And it does make a difference, because there's been stuff in the past that I've done that I was good at, but then I go, but just because I'm good at it doesn't mean that I really want to do it all my life or all the time. And
burnout takes you out of that.
Important. Yeah, that's it. And so sometimes you get a new direction by looking. That's one of the first things I ask people when they've been displaced in a job. And and they go, well, I'm getting older and I really don't want to go back to that job because there was a lot of intensive labor. Well, what have you always wanted to do? What are you interested in? And they'll start, and I'll say, well, you've got these skills and you've got this, and you could do this with that, and I'll start giving them ideas. That's one of my gifts, is trying to pull that stuff out of people. But that it's got to be from the heart. And Deborah said, being able to step back and see a situation holistically. Yes.
Absolutely. That's a lot of wisdom. Lee says, go ahead.
Yeah, because to be able to see, to observe, my goodness, that's a gift. Because not, to think you have one picture, and just think how many interpretations would be from seeing that one picture. And yet someone else could step back and they have this wonderful, magnanimous viewpoint of what that means. That is truly a gift.
Absolutely. Lee says, would you say that quote from the heart is also that skill where you do it without effort, or you feel you're in the zone or in the flow?
Exactly. That is it. You are in the zone. Exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then Angela Noel says, got her list going. Being a mom, being helpful, caring for others, especially children and animals.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So Angela, mothering is definitely one of your gifts. Yes. If not your overriding gift. That may be your overriding gift. And then you have 3 superpowers underneath that.
Absolutely. Look, divine mother gift kind of influence possibly there.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Very cool.
Just remember to think big. When you start doing this, remember everybody is a divine being. We're all children of God. My goodness, we come from good stock. So, the universe is ours. So think big, and don't worry about right now. Well, how am I going to make money from this? How am I going to pay the power bill?
That's not where you start.
Come later. Okay? Just follow your heart first, and then later on you can use your mind to figure out how to live with it.
Well, and I think too, sometimes, once you know your gifts, then the universe can say, they're tuned in. So now we can show the way to get to where you can use them more. Yeah. So it's like a reciprocal, it's a constant cycle. Whereas if you're stuck in doing something that you don't like, or that you think, well, I'm good at, but this is the only way I can make money. If you're telling yourself this is the only way I can make money, guess what? That's the only way you can make money.
Exactly. Yeah, don't realize how powerful we are. Yes.
What do you give your energy to?
Yes.
Yeah, you start calling up, which is why I wanted to use this. You guys are on point. Which is why I wanted to use this chat room for guys. List a few things, and let's give energy to it, and let the universe help you manifesting towards that end, and give your dreams some feet. Start giving it traction. So, Iris, I wanted to put this same question to you. Name 3 things for yourself.
Go!
You love doing.
I'm a good communicator.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
And I'm good at seeing. I don't quite know how to word this. I can see within people. You know, intuitive, psychic, whatever you want to call it. I can pick up on what people need and give that value to them. You know, I mean, I'm just so I got the communication into things, and then somebody comes to me, a total stranger, and I can zone in on what's going on with them, and you know, so and ask the right questions to get that energy going that they need to help themselves, if that makes sense.
Because Iris, what's your astrology? What's your sun sign?
I'm Virgo.
Okay, that's very good for a Virgo to be that sensing. Yeah. So you've got to have some water in there somewhere.
Yeah. You know, and it is interesting though, because it is water sign. I'm better around water.
Yes. So maybe you're a rising sign or moon sign. Maybe you've got some water in there.
Yeah, because the other end is I'm right on the cusp of what's October.
Libra.
Libra. Yeah.
Water signs. Dale, I'm a Pisces and Aquarius.
Whoa!
Well, see, so you're super sensitive, super psychic with the Pisces, right? I mean, you're worldwide with that. Like all Pisces are. You know, that's why most Pisces drink and smoke dope, right? You're trying because so much is going
trying to bring it down a little.
World sometimes can be crazy for you, and then with your Aquarius, so you're worldwide because we're the age of Aquarius now. So you're this wonderful air sign that's a water bearer. Got its own magic that way. So that's wonderful. Yeah.
I've always known
and that's another thing for folks. If you can find out what your astrology is, that will let you know whether you're an earth sign, a fire, air, or water. And that'll just let you know how you assimilate and how you extrapolate from the world, how you sense things. And it would help you because I'm Sagittarius, I'm fire. So, lots of energy with fire people. Just have to make sure that we don't burn people out. You know,
what you're saying kind of lets us tie back into our one-dimensional self.
Yes.
Based on the theory that we evolved from 1D to 2D to 3D to 4 to 5. But yeah, connecting to our elemental self lets you tap into those beautiful, wonderful, ancient energies that you did have sometime in the past as a first dimensional being. And in your case, fire. And in my case, I'm very much a water element.
And what is Virgo? Because I've forgotten. It's
Earth.
It is Earth. Okay.
Yeah. Very, very practical.
And it's it's beautiful, changing Earth. So as much as Earth can move, I mean, it's pretty sturdy.
Morpheus Earth. Absolutely.
But a website you can go to is called alabe.com. So ALABE.com. That's a free birth chart. And you just got to have your time you were born. Of course, you're going to know your place and you're going to know the date. Now, if you don't have a time on your birth certificate, I've never known anybody that's asked their mother what time they were born that worked. It was always off. Right? Maybe some moms will actually know the exact time, but usually it's off because with the birth chart, you have to be within an hour because the moon and sun and all that shifts.
They all move. Yeah.
Yeah. With all that. So go to alabe.com, see the thing that says free birth chart, plug in all the data, and it'll let you know. Now there's all kind of stuff on there, but keep it simple. Go for your sun sign, your rising sign, which is how that supports your sun sign. And then your moon sign, that is your emotional relationship personality. So just stick with the sun, the rising, and the moon sign. That'll tell you a lot.
Give you some structure. Absolutely. Yeah. One of my overall gifts that I enjoy the most is most easily characterized as a gatekeeper.
Yes.
I stand in the gate and help people open those rusty doors and squeaky windows and give them safe space that they can go from their old belief system and step towards their next belief system there is no final belief system, but they find that out later. But I get people to go from one gate through a door and through a door and through a door.
Well, that's great. Well, that's your gift then. Like mine is guide or guiding. Then your main gift then is gatekeeping, and now you got 3 things under that.
I finally got an aha about all this a couple of months ago that kind of confirmed that. We're going from the age of Pisces. Well, we are in the age of Aquarius. We left Pisces for Aquarius, and that's what I am. I'm a Pisces and Aquarius. My zodiac is the gatekeeper.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I was like, oh, that's so cool. What a neat confirmation that it's been 53 years. You think I would have caught on.
She finally got it.
I finally made that connection. So we got some more cool comments from our guests. Heather, I'm a great listener. People, strangers find it easy to open up to me. When I was younger, it used to bother me. Then my dad told me that everyone needs someone to open up to. And if people felt that comfortable with me, then I was blessed with a gift.
Yes.
And Heather, apparently you blessed other people with your gift too.
And she's a Virgo.
Yeah. And she's a Virgo. Virgos are very, very earth cuddly, warm people.
Yep.
Usually.
And big difference between hearing something and listening. So, because listening, if we're listening, well, that's a heart skill to actually listen. Yeah.
Although I do have a funny, my dad and my sister and I or my dad was Virgo. Okay, so at the dinner table, it was 3 of us Virgos, and my mom was Taurus. And so she'd come in and we'd go, yeah, Taurus, the bull. She was headstrong, and she,
mm-hmm.
So
always the mix match. Yeah.
Now Virgos, I'm the odd man out because all of my kids were born in January and February, and my grandkids were born in the summertime, and there's all the Virgos are gone in my family except for my sister, and she's on the West Coast, so I don't have anybody defending me at my dinner table anymore.
Sounds like your family had found balance.
Yeah.
So Dale, what are your signs, dear? Since we're running around in this,
I have 2 water signs so I'm a rising Scorpio, so it goes along great with my detective skills, right? And likes the mysteries of life, the universe.
Yes.
And then my water sign is Cancer. Yeah. So.
Cool.
Yeah. So I've got 2 water signs and a fire. So sometimes get steamy here inside my head.
The other parts of my signs are earth signs, so I end up being mud. In Chinese, I'm a muddy sheep.
Muddy sheep. Yes.
And the Chinese zoology. Yeah. Zoology, that's right. Zodiac.
And when we talk about the zodiac too, remember, even though we may have a sun sign, try to integrate those qualities because they roll around every month. So try to emulate and adjust to the qualities that are going on. For instance, now we're in Aquarius. So read up on what some of the aspects of Aquarius is, being very open-minded, broad-minded, communicating, distributing. So notice how that would affect your sun sign. So try to integrate every single month, every single sign into your life the whole year. So that way you have a whole wheel of the year you get to work with, because really, remember, we're all everything. So try to use that. It's here. So.
Yeah.
It's all in there.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Lee asked, what was that website that Dale just mentioned? Yeah. Can you spell that for us again?
ALABE. So ALABE. So ALABE.com.
Is it B as in boy?
Yeah, be like boy. Yeah.
So Iris, did you get that?
Yeah, I tacked it on the end of this. So
that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. ALABE. Yep, that's it. ALABE.com. And go down where it says free birth chart, because they're obviously going to sell stuff too. So just do the free birth chart, and it'll give you your 3 main signs, and it'll also give you all your planets, which is great. But that's a lot of info. So And if you got too much info and you can't bring it to the forefront of your mind, you can't use it. So yeah, so
Right.
stick to for now, just stick to the sun, your rising
Baby
sign,
steps.
and moon sign.
Moon sign, sun sign, rising sign. Very cool. We got a few more comments coming in, and Lee says, thank you so much. And Heather says, still discovering myself and my gifts. Spent several years caring for both of my parents till they passed on. Love and appreciate the knowledge you have shared here. Thank you. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I think all of us can relate to taking care of senior citizen parents in our lives. All three of us have done that.
Yeah,
and yep. And
so Heather, you're definitely a healer. So healing is obviously one of your gifts. So yeah.
Yes, absolutely. More and more people are getting interested in death doula. Have you heard of that? I'm sure you've heard of it. I'm sure you've birthing doulas and midwives and all that. Yes. But there's a growing trend for sacred death and sacred passing. And they're called, in one occupation, it's called death doula, D-O-U-L-A. And that's a type of healer too.
Yes, it is.
And I've had a lot of people come up, talk to me, spiritual stuff, readings, or just, socializing. And they mentioned that people have a tendency to die around them, that they went to visit or whatever. And sorry, I have a sense of humor about that.
And would you put their names up, please, so we know who these folks are?
So we can get around who they are. And it took them a long time. It takes them a while to process this, but I've learned to use language. Sweetie, you're what we might call an angel of mercy. This is a sacred process to gracefully go from this existence into your next existence, whatever your belief system it describes it as. But to help people do that, or people just do it spontaneously in your presence, yes, that's a very specific and highly regarded type of healer that can help people transition. And then about 5 years later, I saw these online schools. Now they're offering certification and now even degrees in death doula and passing and passage. And it's a branch of hospice now and all this other really cool stuff. God, so that's actually a skill set that some people don't talk about right away. Yes. Yeah. Helping people die with grace and ease. Yeah.
And that's definitely healing. My goodness, what a superpower. Help people ready for the journey.
Yeah. When you die with grace and ease, your ancestors are benefiting as well as your descendants. Yeah. Everybody benefits, up and down, not just you. Yeah. It's a ripple effect. We're talking, yes. I'm referring to the natural ripple effect, yes, which happens whenever you do anything nice or loving or whatever. Yes. But death doula, yeah, now you're really hitting your ancestors as well as your descendants.
Yeah, and that's what we're talking about, like with our earth superpowers, that's healing. So when people think, well, I don't really know if I'm a healer, well, you wouldn't think something like a death doula is a healer, but yes, that's healing. So it's just like teaching, anything, facilitating, all that. Everybody has their own little niche with that. So you can have that superpower too. There's more than enough to go around for all that.
Oh yeah, I mean, we're 8 billion, and one of the intuitive reads that I heard that I agree with is that we're heading for 22 billion. That the planet can actually support that at least. Mm-hmm. So we're looking at double or more. So that also means, more people are going to go through the life cycle and yep. pass on with, and with grace and ease is one of the ways that they do it. Mm-hmm. And Lee said, so glad you mentioned death doula, Margot. I've been interested in this. Lee, get in touch with me off the show and, Facebook or email or whatever, or text me. And I will hook you up with people in the triad that you can talk to that are that do this. That's they know them through their studies, through their actual practice, and see if that's a skill set you want to keep developing. Be more than happy to pass those names on.
That'd be great.
So absolutely. Yeah, there you go. A little bit of gatekeeping right there.
That's right. There you go. I can see the tagline now for the business card. Dying to meet you. Everyone.
Getting Lee through that door. Absolutely.
It's starting to remind me of Ghostbusters, though, are you the gatekeeper? Or are you the keyhole master?
Well, that's a discussion that me and my husband had years ago.
Just as long as your name isn't Gothar, we're good.
Yeah, we're good. I generally stick with Margot. Sometimes people talk about spiritual names, and you can hear a slightly different spiritual name for their higher self. And nope, across the board, everybody's like, nope, you're Margot. You're Margot out in the ethers too. And really what that means is that my parents heard. When that came time to name me, my parents heard the correct name. So, or not correct, but they heard the name that was echoing out there. So it's kind of cool because lots of times what I've noticed is somebody's spiritual name is very similar to their 3D name because that's just the way their parents heard it, you know?
Yes, exactly.
So, yeah, and that's just part of being connected. That's part of being. Interestingly enough, my parents were textbook thumping atheists. That's an easy way to explain it. However, their behavior didn't show up that way, but verbally, that's what they profess to.
Right.
So inspiration has, my point being, inspiration has nothing to do with religion.
Yeah,
it has to do with where you're connected inside. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And how, feeling, being in the flow.
Exactly.
As Lee said. Yeah, absolutely. So.
If you would just take a minute, and I know it probably might take longer than that, but I just want to kind of, because we've talked about it in a nutshell, the 3D versus the 4D versus it. Do you have a general, because we bounced that around, a general explanation so that maybe somebody who's listening doesn't understand when we talk about, if they're thinking 3D, okay, it's a box and it's got depth to it versus.
Dale, what is your definition of a 1D, 2D, 3D, 4D, 5D?
Yeah, so 1D, of course, I've studied the teachings of Ra, and I found those to be incredibly a great way to understand our realities. With teachings of Ra, which, you can go on L&L research, look that up on the internet. All their books are free on the internet. So very loving people. They're in Louisville, Kentucky. So
nice.
And one of the original channelers, he's still living, Jim. Yeah, so that's nice because this happened back in the early 80s. Yeah.
Okay.
So as far as Ra, then 1D, then you're looking at elemental forces. So that's our astrology. So wow, nice to tie all that in. So that's our 1D then. First density would be the air, fire, earth, water. Second density is pets. So all our animals, plants. So all those things that go toward light and all those things that are growing from the animal sense. And the wonderful thing about everyone having pets and caring for animals is, remember, the only way they get to move to 3D is they have to go through the 2D. And in order for them to move to 3D, they have to start to learn how it is to be inside when it's raining, to be cared for, to be fed. So they have to start taking on these human qualities. And you ever notice how some of the pets look just like the owners? My goodness, how they favor. Yeah, so you're helping your pets to move on to 3D. That's a wonderful thing. And then third density, of course, that's where we are. So third density is about self-awareness. And that's what we're trying to be. We're trying to be consciously aloha, right? So self-aware of who we are, why we're here. Those 6 things we've talked about, the who, what, when, where, how, and why. And that's what the 3D is about. Now, fourth density is about love. And when we get to fourth density now, that's when we get super psychic, right? We have these little light bodies and stuff. We can fly and do all those things. There's really no secrets in 4D, fourth density, because everybody can read everybody else's minds. And heart.
Is the thing of the past, right?
We know everything, right? we know everything and what people are thinking and all that. So that's a great density to be in, to learn about the love. And then, of course, 5D, we move to wisdom and light. Yeah. And then 6D is unity, and that's where the Ra people are. They're in 6D, getting ready to go to the 7D. So, and then we hear the word dimension. So really, just think dimensions could be similar to every key on the piano, right? That's a different dimension because it's a different note, a different vibration, different sound. So we experience different dimensions, and I know people use those words interchangeably, dimensions and densities. Yeah, and we because we hear a lot now about people going from 3D trying to skip 4D to go to 5D, and I'm going, now wait a minute, we can't skip fourth grade. We need fourth grade before we move to fifth grade. So
you're going to make it harder, yeah.
So when you hear the thing about going from 3D, 4D, 5D, just think of density, and the reason it's called density from the Ra teachings because it's the denseness of the light that's within us. So we have 3D density now, but when we move to 4D, when we make that transition, we have more light in us, so we're denser. Yeah, so that's why it's called a density. That's why they use those words to help us understand.
So we're denser or we're less dense because.
Yeah, we're not very dense here in 3D. It takes a while, because in 3D, way our cycles work. Now 1D, that time frame that could last for however long it needs to last, because just think that's how planets are born, and that's what planets go through, right? They go through those elemental stages, right? The Earth is formed. You have water, you have fire, right? You have the wind, the air. Yeah. So that's a planetary thing. So just think that could take as long as that needs to take, billions of years, right? Mother Earth, 4.5 billion years old, right? And then a 2D, that could take maybe a couple thousand, if not longer years. There's really no time frame for that because it depends when the animals want to move on, when trees, plant life want to evolve in the animals and move on. But now 3D, we have 75,000 year cycles. So we are now, according to Ra, we could be in the very end stage of this 75,000 years.
Yeah, we are.
The train is getting ready to leave the station, so we got to go somewhere. So we either have enough love in us, and we have to have at least 51%. That's the goal, to be 51% aloha. And then if you do, you get to move on to 4D. But if not, you'll just go to another 3D place. So if you really love 3D and the way it is, and or fret not, you'll get to do it the next lifetime, if that happens to be your choice of how you believe throughout the continuity of life, right?
Yeah.
And, but now 3D, then it's 75,000 year cycles. So, and then once that's finished, it's another 75,000 years. So we have an opportunity, and you can also progress every 25,000 years of that 75,000 if you want to. You have
smaller leaps, right?
Jump. Yeah. And then, of course, now 4D, when we get there, we're looking at a 30 million years. That takes 30 million years to get through 4D, right? 50 million years to get through 5D. So, yeah, we're going to be here a while, right? 70 million years to get through 6D. So please don't be impatient about life. We've got the rest of all of time.
Eternity, right?
Right? Yeah. So don't be in a rush, because we'll get it one way or another. And remember, we all have to be somewhere, and you're going to be somewhere. And it's up to you how much love is in your life, because that's the aloha consciousness. Remember, whether we're in a gulag or a Siberian camp, or whether we're living in a penthouse or on the beach of Hawaii, right? We have to decide how much aloha consciousness is in us. Because, I remember one time we went to Disney World with the kids, and we're standing in line at Starbucks. People are complaining because they're having to wait in line at Disney World at Starbucks. I'm going, folks, we're in the Magic Kingdom here. How are you complaining at all? How does that enter into the
bigger
program? Yes,
bigger people think bigger.
Exactly. So remember, wherever you are, it doesn't matter. Throughout all of eternity, you have to figure out how much love you have within you, how much love you're going to share, and how much love you're just going to sprinkle around. I mean, that's an eternal goal, so that doesn't go away. So regardless of the situation, find out where the love is. Where is it within you, and where is it with those around you? And if you can't find it with those around you, well, find somebody else that you can share it with. So it's a pretty easy formula, really. Just to find love. The thing is, we aren't taught to be self-critical about that, to find the love within us, because we aren't taught how beautiful and loving and special we are. We have grades in school. I mean, my gosh, we get evaluated with things, and let alone the parental stuff that, they're the best they can. They're trying to feed the kids and buy boxes of cereal and, live life too.
Pay the bills, right?
Yeah.
And
So we
grow
just
themselves.
make sure we stay aloha minded. And that's in the very front of our mind, that everything we want to be able to see, hear, and feel the love in every moment. And if we could do that, you'll be amazed at how much your day changes. And then, of course, you start doing it every day, and you're going to soon realize how much your life changes. And it was so easy to do. And you'll get to a point where we go, why did I not see that? Why did I not hear that? How could I not have felt that? My goodness. Yeah.
Awesome. You've got lots of gratitude flying at you, Dale, off of Facebook. Heather's saying, I really needed to hear all of this tonight. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You got a triple TY. Good job. Good job. And
and I think it's about that time. I think we're at a good landing place because it's been a great flight tonight. Woo! And we definitely have got to have you back, Dale, because
please come back and play, Dale.
Thank you so much.
Yes, and
we know you have more to say.
Yes, I am a Sagittarius.
Yeah.
Well, you are a wealth of information, and the fact that you're willing to share it, we are so appreciative. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, and thank you to the people who are with us, both the newcomers and the repeat people. We appreciate you being here. And with that, we will say good night.
All right.
Good night.
Mama, aloha.
Aloha. For joining the Eyes of Indigo with Iris Carter and Margot Ross Sears. Music is Arcadia by Kevin MacLeod of Incomptech.com, licensed under Creative Commons. Visit our Facebook page for broadcast details, www.facebook.com/Eyes of Indigo. Show is copyrighted 2021 by Iris Carter and Margot Ross Sears, all rights reserved.